Mm, Today, my topic is predicted optimized farming design and analysis using machine learning techniques in agriculture under the supervision of Dr. Deepak Motwani sir. So now I'm starting my topic. So background. So generally, we can say India is an agrarian country, and 70% of population is depending on agriculture. So this is basically the foundation. So it is seen that farmers grow same crop, same type of crop every year. This becomes trend without knowing the quality of soil, climate, demand in market. So due to all these reasons, there are certainly many problems arises. So first is the production of same crops are high and some are low, so that is below the marginal level. So there is a mismatch between the requirements of crop in market and the availability of crops. So basically we are not studying the what should be required in the market. So farmers yield more than the requirement, couldn't get the appropriate price, and information should also be available to the farmers on demand and should be personalized to his needs. So we know that farmers are farming in a traditional way, so output is not in the favor of them. So as a result they lost their life, they take many loans. So whatever uh, we are doing from this study, we are using some machine learning techniques, show a path at every step by generating signals at frequent intervals. So even a novice farmer uh, can use these signals and can get better results. So basically these are the some parameters on which the farming stages are depend. So if we are starting from the crop selection, so market demand should be there, then competitive pricing should be maintained there, then release price by government at the time of seeding. So government announces some prices that is for release of that is for the release of the crop, then budget is required. So these are all the parameters on which the uh, farming farming depends. Our from all these reasons, I get motivated to schedule all these things in such a manner that can utilize all the available resources within time, within so we can maintain the balance between the production of crops and the market demand. And obviously all the parameters that are responsible for this. So if we are moving to the selection of crop, then climate is one factor, then land suitability is another factor. So all the considering all these factors, so at the initial level we collect data. So like that, so all these things. So now the objectives, the primary objective of the study is to develop framework or system to utilize available resources in a better way. So our primary objective is to develop a framework so that we can provide right data at right time by generating signals, so that each and every farmer can get a benefit of them, and even the government officials can get the same type of information, whether the fertilizers should be available at the right time, right place. So it is not the it is the it is not a mismatch between these, the consumption and the requirement of the raw materials that is required in the farming. So the specific objects are, so mainly the basically the objectives are to ensure the optimum utilization of available resources, where the resources should be utilized in right quantity, maintaining the quality at right time. Then second objective is to reduce the wastage by calculating at pre-stage. So if we calculate it as pre-stage, so we are saving lot of money. So because if we calculate, okay, the 100% requirement is there. So if we know in advance that 20% is in the wastage, so we are uh, producing more crop according to the requirement, because wastage is involved in that. So produce the crop in right quantity. It can generate signals at alarming conditions also. So it might be due to factors. So there are many factors involved in that. So we are scheduling all these factors. So if one of the parameter is changing, all of the parameters are changing. So if we take an example of So if there is a calamity in one district, so we can say if there is a rainfall, or if there is a major rainfall, or if there is a flood, so what for that particular season the crop become destroyed, no crop can be produced from that district. So now this is one parameter that is basically responsible for the whole that is for responsible for manipulating all other parameters. So it affects all other parameters like no crop, no fertilizer, no pesticides, no raw material that is provided by government is needed in that particular district. So the requirement is to the pressure is goes to the other district to produce more yield, more crop, and or we can say we can generate signals here so that government can take right decision. It might be to import the crop, that particular import, that particular crop. So this is basically the idea. When is the what is the right time to import, what is the right time to export, how government can deal, how can government provide a right resource at the right time. Next, there are, we can say, after extensive study, we say that many researchers works a lot day and night to work at each step. Rather, they proposed wonderful ideas and methods. Now there are many papers. I have referred some 4 or 5 papers here. So first paper is from the Juan Cow that is published in the Elsewhere in 2021 itself, and that is the methods used here are the ML method, machine learning method, random forest method in the machine learning, LSTM method in deep learning, and the lasso in statistical. So in this, basically the idea is to produce the crop at produce a crop. So in this, the limitation is it predicts the crop without considering the past year data. It basically considers what are the parameters that is required. So at that particular moment, so if we can say the weather is responsible for this, the climate is responsible for this, water requirement is there, then the demand is there, but we are not considering the last 4 or 5 years data or 10 years data. So it might be possibly that the because of the last year calamity, or so it the land suitability is not perfect, so they are not considering that part. So Gallardo, the second research paper that I have considered, that is from itself, and the main limitation is the limited number of attributes are considered. So basically limited parameters are there. So in this, the rainfall is not considered. So if we are talking about rainfall, so it impacts more. So whatever be the nutrient management is there, what government have to provide material at right time. Then the third reference is from the Caravan and Cycons, and that is published in 2020 itself, that LSTM math model is used here, and in this they are basically considering only 2 seasons. So if we know if we are producing a crop, so we have to know more about the past data also. So we cannot say for the 2 seasons, if the possibility of productivity of crop is very good, then it might be possible in the future also. So we can say the two seasons are not that enough. Then DR Vincent, that is published in the MPDI 2019, they use the methods neural network and machine multi-layer perceptron. If and basically the limitation is with the more than 2 crops. So if crop diversification is there, so they are not considering the parameters through which we can maintain the nutrient level. So in this, if we are saying that the fertilizers, so NPK is there, so nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium is there. So if one crop absorb more fertilizer, then what is the ratio of the second crop that is to be utilized by the second crop? So that should be maintained. Otherwise, we have to use more fertilizers. So if it is possible, we can consider that factor also. The next reference is from the Navander and Satpute, that is from the Elsewhere, and that they indicate they explore more IoT's method here. So more sensors are used to take the data. So if they this can be a temperature this can be a humidity, this can be at a NPK sensor. So they are basically taking data at a real time, but it must be more robust according to the specificity of the crop. So if we are talking about wheat, so according to that, it must be more elaborate. So that basically is the demand of our project. Then next is the S. Kanaga Sabaraja, that is published in IEEE 2017. They use the method sliding window nonlinear regression technique, and here the limitation, it proposes demand based recommender system without considering the availability of resources. So if we talk about the government couldn't provide the fertilizer at right time. So if you are not saying, if you are working in the Agra district and the particular raw material is not available at that particular moment of time, so how can you say that okay, demand is for pulses, so you can produce more pulses without having all the required raw materials at particular moment of time. So this is basically the drawbacks I have studied. And in this actually we are studying about 25 papers, and out of them I recognize these limitations. And in this we can say no paper is able to suggest selection of crop to yield depending upon the arena where a farmer lives by analyzing the demand of market. So demand of market should be there, then crop diversity should be there, the ratio in which the two crops can be cultivated, that should be there. No paper suggests the appropriate time to sow the seed. So if there are many crops, now I'm not talking about the single crop, so if there are many crops, so what is the better time to sow that seed? So this is basically the problem. No paper is suggesting what to do when more production is there but demand is not there. So is there any processing industry available to use that crop? How far is it available? So what is the transportation charges? So considering all these factors, we are developing, or we will study all these things. And so my scope of work is, we can take the area Agra district, because we are maintaining data district wise. So basically in Agra district, so in UP we have 76 districts like that. So we are not considering all these districts because of the time limitation or all these things. So we are considering Agra district and the nearby districts also, because if there is some problem in Agra district, then we have to move to nearby district. Then the population requirement is this. Yeah, population sample should be the farmers, the Sahakari Samiti people, and the government, because government can also get benefited from my study. Then the methods to explore here. So machine learning method that can be